Okay, so for number 7, hopefully this is what you guys got right here. I took absolute value of x, and that minus 3 told me I took each point down 3 units. For this one, the green is x squared, and I'm just taking each x squared value and moving it up 2. So 1, 2, up 1, 2. This x squared minus 4, I'm taking each point and shifting it down 4. So we've dealt with vertical translations. Now we want to deal with horizontal translations. I've graphed y first. Y equals absolute value of x. That's what it looks like. Now what I want to do is I want to plug in -5, all these values into the absolute value of x plus 2. So I showed you guys how I plug -5 in. Now we want to plug -4 in. So I'm taking the absolute -4 plus 2 is -2. The absolute value of -2 is 2. -2 plus 2 is 0. -1 plus 2 is 1. 0 plus 2 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4, 6, and 7. So I'm going to graph each of these points. So I'm going to go -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up 1, 2, 3. -4 was at 2. 2 was at 0. 1 was at 1. Then I got 0, 2, 1, 3, 2, 4, 4, 6, and then 5, 7. So my graph looks like this. Okay? Now we want to do the same thing with the other function, x minus 5. So that's 0. -4 minus 5 is, no, yeah, -5 minus 5, sorry, is -10. So that's going to make it +10. Um, then I got 4 minus, or -4 is going to get me 9. Then I'm going to have -2 is 7. 1 minus, or -1 minus 5 is 6. 0 minus 5 is 5. I'm going to go in the other direction. 4, 2 is 3. 4 minus 5 is 1. And then 5 minus 5 is 0. I'm going to add a couple other ones, 6 and 7 for this one, just to see what happens. If I do 6 minus 5, I get 1 again. 7 minus 5 is 2. So I'm going to plot these points just to see what it looks like. I'm going to plot it in green. So I got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up 1, 10 is right here. My graph's going to look like this. Now, what is the relationship here? If I were to compare the black to the green, or black to the red, what happens? It looks like each point is going over 1, 2 units, and it's going 2 to the left. Okay, each point is being shifted 2 to the left. Okay, that's interesting. Now let's deal with the other one, y2 to y3, or y1 to y3. What happens there, guys? So it looks like each point is getting bigger by 5, or it's going to the right 5. So if I were to look here, I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right. So what it seems like is that if I were to look at um, the absolute value of x minus 5, it seems like it's taking the absolute value of x and moving it to the right 5. And if I'm taking the absolute value of x plus 2, it's taking the absolute value of x and moving it to the left 2. Okay? So does that same process hold for x squared? So if I were to combine, looking at y1 and y2, which is the green and the red, what happens? This green is the original. Green is parent. This is my green is my parent function. Red is my y2. If I were to look at this, it's taking it and moving it to the right 2. Is that same thing happening here? I'm going 1, 2. So it seems like that's holding to be true, that x minus 2 squared is taking x squared and moving it to the right 2. Now let's see what happens with the other one. If I were to compare green to black, what happens? Well, I'm going to the right 1, 2, 3. Right, 1, 2, 3. It seems like x plus 3 squared is going to the right 3 units. So what we're figuring out here is that if it's in x minus h squared form, it's being translated to the right, as is x minus h, it's being translated to the right. As when it's going x plus h, it's going to the left, and this is going to the left too. So let's look at something here. Let's look at an example. Let's try one. I'm going to graph absolute value of x, kind of like what we've been doing all along. This is what absolute value of x looks like. Now the plus 4 is telling me that it's going to the left 4. So I'm going 1, 2. The plus 4 means it's going to the left 4. So I'm taking each point and going 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left. Every point is being shifted to the left 4. That's what your final answer would look like. I'm going to ask you guys to try the next couple for me, and we will go over them in a second. Just pause the video for me. So after you guys are pausing the video, hopefully you guys see this. I'm taking x minus 2 and shifting it to the right 2. So that's why each point is being shifted to the right. The plus 1 tells me I'm taking x and moving it to the left 1. The minus 3 is telling me I'm moving it to the right 3. Okay? I want you guys to try these for me, like in which you're combining them. And then we can talk about tomorrow. Okay? Thanks.